because I will say free Palestine all day. I will support Palestinian people. I will continue to critique Israel. So am I radical? Am I anti-American? Do you see what I'm saying? This is a slippery slope. Slippery slope. But all they just need is some dumbasses like this attacking Jewish people. You're someone who lived through the Holocaust out of all people. Like, it is bad. And all you don't even have to give Trump and this administration a reason. They will create their own. But if you give them a reason, what are we supposed to do? Oh my God. Okay, I can't believe something stupid, hateful, which I know it happens all over the world. I get it. But in Colorado, let alone in Boulder, if you ever been in Boulder, Colorado, that's like, I don't want to say the safest place, but like, you don't think of situations like we're going to talk about happening in Boulder. That's like the hippie part of Colorado. You know what I'm saying? So like, it kind of confuses me, which I'm still trying to wanted to get some more information, but let me just lay it like this before we get into the video to get more detailed information. Anti-Semitism, hateful rhetoric, hate speech of any kind, attacking people, innocent people, let alone, is never okay. That is some BS. And when it comes to this individual, I hope he gets the max sentencing that he could get. Okay, which from where we're going to get into, it's going to be a lot. But when it comes to that type of actions against innocent civilians, people protesting, even if they're protesting things you don't like, let them be. Do your opposing protest or whatever the case is, make a video. But you attacking people crosses the line. So, I mean, that's obvious. But I will say two things here. What Israel has been doing for the past 2 years to the Palestinian people, like a lot of people say, this is not making Jewish people any more safe throughout the world, because now you're turning people against you other than you being Jewish. They're seeing you demolish a group of people, genociding a group of people for now at this point overkill, obviously by definition. So now you're causing resentment in people for your own actions. So now you're putting a target on your own people's back because of your just hateful actions. You see what I'm saying? So that's number one. And number two, situations like this is only just red meat for Trump and Trump voters. Oh my God. Like this, as we're going to see, this is what they've been waiting for. Someone like this, something like this, a situation like this, especially with the two shootings that happened a few weeks ago. Oh my, this will give Trump all the ammunition he needs to do even more crazy, whatever the fuck it is only going to fuel that even more. And it's going to fuel more hate against immigrants or people even standing up for the Palestinian people. So let's get into the video.
Massive news. A man in Boulder, Colorado with a makeshift flamethrower reportedly yelled "Free Palestine" and threw Molotov cocktails at a group that was gathered to raise attention for hostages captured by Hamas in 2023. Right, and so we have to talk about this, especially because it happened just a week after you had a guy yelling "Free Palestine" shooting 2 Israeli embassy staffers outside of a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. In this case, though, no one was killed, though 8 people were hospitalized with injuries ranging from minor to serious, one of which was reportedly a survivor of the Holocaust. And so with all that, as as far as what we know right now. It reportedly happened near the end of a weekly event that was organized by a group by the name of Run for Their Lives, which, as I said, is a group dedicated to drawing attention to the hostages still in Gaza, of which there might be about 21 still alive. With police saying they started getting calls around 1:26 p.m. local time about a man with a weapon and people being set on fire. And then, after the initial attack, the suspect reportedly went behind some bushes and then re-emerged and threw a Molotov cocktail, but then apparently accidentally caught himself on fire as he threw it, with him then taking off his shirt and what appeared to be a bulletproof vest before the police arrived. And so in images and video that are circulating online, you can seemingly see the shirtless suspect holding what appears to be a Molotov cocktail. Right, and that is, you can also see a woman on the ground who appears injured and people surrounding her and a man pouring water on her body, with there then finally being footage of the police rushing to the scene and arresting this guy. A guy that the authorities have since said they believe acted alone, with police saying they've since discovered 14 unlit Molotov cocktails and a backpack weed sprayer filled with gasoline as well as xylene, which is a colorless and highly flammable substance. You also have the FBI saying that the man confessed to the attack after being taken into custody, and he told investigators that he wanted to kill all Zionist people and that he would do it again. And then with that, he actually said that he'd been planning to conduct the attack for a year, but he was waiting for his daughter to graduate. And so then with all that, you have the man now facing both federal hate crime as well as multiple state felony charges, with Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing the hate crime charge and adding, "This vile anti-Semitic violence comes just weeks after the horrific murder of 2 young Jewish Americans in Washington, D.C. We will never tolerate this kind of hatred. We refuse to accept a world in which Jewish Americans are targeted for who they are and what they believe." Right? And of course, that's the same kind of sentiment that we've seen across the political spectrum, with us seeing, for instance, AOC writing, "I am horrified by last night's horrific attack in Boulder. My heart is with the victims in our Jewish communities across the country. Anti-Semitism is on the rise here at home, and we have a moral responsibility to confront and stop it everywhere it exists." Right? And then, as far as those state charges I mentioned, you had the man reportedly being booked on 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of first-degree assault, 1 count of causing serious injury to an at-risk adult or someone over 70, and 1 count of using explosives or incendiary devices. So then also with this, I'll say that there are reports that he's been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, but since no one has died according to the authorities, we might expect to see those dropped. That is, unless 1, something changes, or 2, there's just something we don't know about publicly. Right? And then as far as what we know, or what we will know soon, you have the authorities saying that this is being investigated, and it's being investigated as terrorism. With us seeing FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino saying in a post on X, "This act of terror is being investigated as an act of ideologically motivated violence based on the early information, the evidence, and witness accounts. We will speak clearly on these incidents when the facts warrant it." Right, as far as who this guy is, he's reportedly 45 years old and an Egyptian national, with then DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin claiming he is illegally in our country and saying that he entered the country in August of 2022 on a non-immigrant visa that expired in February of 2023. They're then noting that he filed for asylum in September of 2022, which is a month after his arrival. And there you have experts saying that U.S. law does provide arriving asylum seekers the right to remain in the United States while their claim for protection is pending, with the USCIS noting that individuals are generally eligible to apply for employment authorization when their asylum application has been pending for 180 days. Man. And with that, you had Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, also claiming that the suspect was an illegal alien, but also acknowledging that the Biden administration actually gave the man a work permit. With Miller
said, "Hey, do you see how this is going? Like, 1, attacking Jewish people, which we know the Trump administration they don't care about Jewish people. I mean, they support people like Kanye West and Nick Fuentes, so they don't care about Jewish people. They just want to, find some sort of excuse to, jail or suppress free speech, obviously. But 1, he attacked Jewish people. 2, while yelling free Palestine, and he's illegal and came here on a visa and overstayed through the asylum seeking process. So this is only going to give them more of a reason to destruct all type of things, not having a plan to rebuild it or to reform it. No, just have a reason to demonize more, upon immigrants, and just to shut everything off. This right here. Oh, man, it's crazy.
Adding, quote, "suicidal migration must be fully reversed." But then also, beyond the effort by the Trump administration to tie this issue to illegal immigration, it's also obviously been widely condemned as an act of anti-Semitism. And with that, you also had Trump condemning the attack on Truth Social and using it to justify his immigration policies. Writing, "This is yet another example of why we must keep our border secure and deport illegal anti-American radicals from our homeland." And then you had the White House keep our border secure and...
This part right here. radicals, anti-American. What does that mean? Anti-American radicals from our homeland. At some point, calling me crazy, but at some point, is that going to spill over to American citizens? Because I will say free Palestine all day. I will support Palestinian people. I will continue to critique Israel. So am I radical? Am I anti-American? You do you see what I'm saying? This is a slippery slope. Slippery slope. But all they just need is some dumbasses like this attacking Jewish people. Is someone who lived through the Holocaust out of all people. Like, it is bad. And all you don't even have to give Trump and this administration a reason. They will create their own. But if you give them a reason, what are we supposed to do? Oh, man.
Support illegal anti-American radicals from our homeland. And then you had the White House press secretary further warning that anyone pushing anti-American values and especially engaging in acts of violence will not be allowed to remain in the country, and adding, your visa will be revoked and you will be deported. And then outside of the U.S., you had Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu saying in a statement that the victims were attacked simply because they were Jews, and adding, the anti-Semitic attacks around the world are a direct result of blood libels against the Jewish state and people, and this must be stopped. Right?
And he did not help. This guy right here did not help. He's not helping. Like I said at the beginning of this video, what Israel is doing with the overkill of innocent people, obviously, now we have Republicans speaking up about that. You're having people around the world look at Israel, look at Jewish people differently, and it has nothing to do with them being Jewish. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but once again, like, that is not going to be in the forefront of people's minds. They're just going to see this terrorist attack, and Trump is going to do all these crazy things, and that's just how it goes.
Are a direct result of blood libels against the Jewish state and people, and this must be stopped. Right? And then with that, as we talked about with the attack in D.C. last month, we've seen him and others seemingly trying to link what happened to support for Palestine in general, or opposition or criticism to Israel's actions in Gaza. Though, of course, you have people in response saying that one person's actions don't represent a whole group of people or an entire movement.
This should be obvious. This should be, of course. Yeah, you shouldn't take one person and paint an entire group of people, of course. But like I said, this Trump administration, these Republicans don't care about that. You just give them 1 foot in, one big toe in, that's all they need. And then you're screwed.
And then actually with that, one of the women who was gathered to raise attention for the hostages, she said that she was Jewish on her father's side and has supported the Palestinian cause for more than 40 years. And at the scene, she said that she was actually worried that she was going to be accused of helping the suspect because she was wearing a pro-Palestinian shirt. As we wait to see what comes from the investigation, I think what is not up for any sort of debate is that this was a horrible, horrifying event, and the monster behind it is a fucking monster. But then I've got even more news.
All right, there you go. Hey, but once again, you can separate the craziness that people do and your support for a group of people, obviously. But with this day and age, that could be a dangerous thing. So once again, I will always support the Palestinian people, the innocent people, and I will always critique America, Israel, and anything in between, because that's what I do, because I want to do that. So, but at some point, is that going to be un-American, anti-American to say? I don't know. Like I said a million times, this administration doesn't need a reason why, really. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that blue sky link in the description down below so we can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have a conversation.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.